Welcome, everyone. We're happy to have you here today for College2Career fairs. We want to let you know that today your cameras and microphones are turned off. We are in webinar mode, and so our presenters cannot see you. So this means the hand raise option also will not work because we cannot see you. We hope you're going to want to ask questions. You'll be able to do that in your toolbar. You will see the Q&A button. And in the Q&A button, you can type your question to a specific presenter or to all the presenters. Just put the question in there. They're going to do their best to answer all your questions today. But if we run out of time, they will follow up with you after today. We want to remind you that today we are recording this session and it will be posted on our College2Career Fair Connect webpage. So you can always come back and view it again. And we'd love to have you take some more time with us. We have more sessions happening today and 4 days next week. So again, go to our College2Career Fairs Connect webpage and sign up for more sessions. We'd love to see you. And now I'm going to turn it over to our presenters. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Todd from the University of Melbourne, and we have a variety of panels to a variety of different countries. So just before we get into the University of Melbourne, we just wanted to say why international, in that it's all about finding the best fit for you in terms of majors and degrees. And this might include an overseas university. Some of us have different admissions criteria, shorter degrees. Also, it could be about lifestyle and also making friends from around the world. You're developing skills like seeing things from a different perspective that are highly valued by many employers. And many of the countries that we're going to be presenting today give you the option to actually work in their country after graduation. So there's a variety of things to why consider an international degree leading to an international career. So I'm Todd St. Vrain from the University of Melbourne. Good day, and we're going to do a little bit things that, so welcome to UniMelb, or as we say in the local Aboriginal language, Wominjeka. So University of Melbourne is a large public research-intensive university dated back to 1853. But I think what characterizes Melbourne is that it attracts great minds who really want to make a difference in the world. So why would you come all the way to Melbourne, Australia to do your degree? Well, one, it's the prestige of going to a university that actually ranks 26th in the world, and it's a chance to be a global citizen. Australia is a very multicultural country. East meets West, and our population of 50,000 students has more than 40% international students. And also talking about employability, in Australia, all international students have the ability to work for 2 years after graduation. So you've got options in terms of where you might start your career. So why would you come to Melbourne? Well, our degrees are just 3 years, and also at the current exchange rate, your annual tuition is going to be about $29,000 in US dollars. We base our admissions only on academic achievements, so no extracurriculars, personal statements. That's true throughout Australia. And you're doing all of this in a city 7 times voted the most livable in the world. So in terms of what you can offer at the University of Melbourne, we've streamlined our degrees with about 150 different majors, and you can use our Find a Course portal to explore what fits for you. And each degree tab is going to give a lot of specifics about the majors, the entry requirements. So that could be in our Bachelor of Agriculture. In Australia, Bachelor of Arts is liberal arts, and I've bolded here some of the more popular majors. We're strong in biomedicine. We call business commerce one of our largest schools. And there's also, even if you're not doing a degree in design or fine arts or music, you could take electives in these things here. And quite an extensive range in the life sciences, engineering, and IT. So if you're doing the IB, your admissions is going to be based only on your IB score. We do use predictive grades, and it's guaranteed entry if you have these scores with certain prerequisites to meet. Now, if there's anyone by chance who's doing a US high school diploma, that would be SAT, ACT, GPA, and AP exams. However, if you're doing the IB, you don't need to worry about any of this. It's only the IB requirements. So this is just a comparison in US dollars of what our tuition and living costs are like. So there's actually affordability similar or maybe even less than some of the institutions here in the United States. We don't do financial aid like in the United States, but any really high achieving student would be automatically considered for a merit scholarship. And like in many countries, you can use US student loans, FAFSA, veterans benefits at the University of Melbourne. It's different down under. Our seasons are opposite, so is our academic year. We start semester 1 in March, semester 2 starts late July or early August. So our entry deadlines for applying are a bit different. My advice to you is just apply at the same time as when you're applying to the US and apply for mid-year to prioritize your application. And if you'd like to do a bit of a mini gap year and not start until March of the year after graduation, deferrals are pretty automatic in Australia and certainly at Melbourne. We do have a summer program for high school students. If you want to come in July, we have scholarships available. And so we're about the same size as the US down south, and our campus is in the heart of the city with a mixture of sandstone and modern buildings, and all of this, a famous car park, which has been featured in the Mad Max, and Melbourne, a city of street art, cafes, music, sports, and access to culture and beautiful nature. So I'm based in San Francisco. Please get in touch if you have any questions. Thanks. And now on to the next one.
Great. Hi, I'm Maggie Cardosi, and I am the North American Officer for University College Cork in Ireland. So let me start off here. So UC, if you come to study with us, you will be learning in a land of inspired thought, living in a city of vibrant culture, and studying at a thriving, innovative university. We are located in Cork City, which is the second largest city in Ireland. And Cork itself is a hub for not just culture and tradition, kind of Irish culture, but arts, entertainment, food, music. Did I mention food? If you love food, Cork is going to be a great place for you. We love our food there. We're also incredibly committed to sustainability and environmentalism in our city. We are very close to the coastline, the southern coast in Ireland. So our marine life, the way that we interact with our landscape is very important to us. Cork itself, I think, is a great balance for students and for visitors. So while we have this really great access to all those things people love about living in a European city, like arts, culture, entertainment, access to travel, we are also very close to beautiful, stunning landscapes and countryside. You know, those things that Ireland is very well known for, like castles, beautiful mountain views, the seashore, and things like that. I also mentioned that it's very easy to get around. So around Cork, the best way to get to know the place is to go walking or maybe rent a bike for the day. But it's also very easy to get to the rest of Ireland and actually the rest of the world through our transportation links. So we have many bus depots around Cork City, a train station, and an international airport as well. UCC is very much a part of the fabric of Cork. So when we were founded in 1845, we were a little bit outside of the city limits, but since the city has grown, it has grown around us and really enveloped us into its fabric, like I said. There are about 22,000 students on our campus. Around 3,300 are from outside of Ireland. So you'll be learning with and learning from students from all over the world when you come to study with us. We have over 130 internationally recognized degree programs. So when you leave UCC, your degree will mean something. And I'll get a little bit into academics later. But we're also, if research is something that you're very passionate about, studying with us is going to be probably a very good fit. We have over 100 million euro in research income And our campus is actually offers one of the broadest ranges of research centers in the entire country of Ireland. So a couple of them are like the Tyndall Institute, which focuses on ICT. We also have the Irish Center for Fetal and Neonatal Translational Research and the Marine Renewable Energy of Ireland Institute. On our campus, so I mentioned we're very close. We're about 15 minutes walking from the city center, and we have, like I said, the city has kind of grown around us. We're located on an island in the middle of the River Lee. And I mentioned balance before, talking about Cork, and I think UCC's campus is also a lovely balance as well. So we've got lots of green, actually 120 species of trees on our campus, but also a really nice balance of architecture. We have buildings like our quad that date back to our founding in the 19th century, but also more modern buildings like the Glucksman Art Gallery and our student hub, which is kind of the center for student supports. And around the periphery of campus, there are also accommodation options, which are very convenient to get to Cork and also any other amenities. So I mentioned the student apartments and kind of campus living. We also have very vibrant student life on our campus. So anything that you are passionate about now is something that you can continue on while you're with us, or maybe even try something new. We have over 160 clubs and societies. Clubs or sport, societies or everything else, which is the best way to really get yourself out there and get to know your peers while you're with us. In addition to kind of the beautiful nature walks around our campus and the different city walks, we also have really great sports facilities. So you know, if you want to use the gym, we've got a lot of sports equipment. We've got a climbing wall, rock climbing wall, and then an Olympic-sized swimming pool as well. We also have a health center, so if maybe you get the sniffles or you twist your ankle while you're trying the Irish sport of hurling, you'll be well taken care of. And we do take a holistic approach to to supporting our students. So in addition to health services for your physical health, we have other services to kind of help you get acclimated into campus and feel like you're truly a part of our student body. So whether that's the international office, of which I'm an extension here in the United States, helping you get acclimated to Irish university life, to your students union, career services, and residence life as well. Talk a little bit about academics, because I think this is something really special that helps us stand out. So we have 4 different colleges at our university: Arts, Celtic Sciences and Social Studies, Business and Law, Science, Engineering and Food Science, and Medicine and Health. There are over 100 different subjects that you can choose from, and our degrees are pretty focused, so you do need to know what you'd like to study before applying. One thing to note that I think makes this really special is that we really infuse world and work readiness into our degree programs. So while you can complete some degrees in as little as 3 years, many people take a 4-year option so that they get a guaranteed internship or study abroad placement while they're with us, which is a really great choice. And this is just a little bit, we have a lot of industry connections within Cork in the fields of engineering, pharma, financial services, ICT, food, marine, and energy industries. So while if it's really great to study these areas, if you're studying the arts as well, just think these businesses are also going to need those skills that you're developing as an arts and humanities student. So if all of this sounds really great to you, there's a little bit of application info there. We have a direct application, and we do a rolling admission from December 10th every year. You can choose up to 2 programs to apply for. And once your application is complete, it's about a 4 to 6 week return on a completed application. So there's a few supplemental items. The bulk of our application is focused on your academics. So if you're doing the IB diploma, you can apply with your predicted scores. If you're doing the American high school diploma, you can apply with those materials along with a personal statement and 2 recommendation letters. So that is all for me. This is my information here. My name is Maggie Cardosi. You can find me at margaret.cardosi@ucc.ie, and also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. So thanks very much. And I'm going to pass it on to Leanne to take you back to the land down under.
Thanks, Maggie. Hi, everyone. My name's Leanne Allen, and I represent Macquarie University in Sydney, Australia. Hopefully I am sharing the correct screen with you if that works. Brilliant. So Macquarie is a big public school. We have about 40,000 students, and of that there are 12,000 international students. So a really diverse student population, which is certainly one of my favorite things about it. I did a Master of International Relations at the university, so I was really able to get involved and get the benefits of being in such a diverse environment, and certainly recommend that you guys, no matter where you go, choose an environment that is incredibly diverse and reflects a globalized world. The university itself is about 20 minutes from the downtown area of Sydney. As you can see, it's a really beautiful city. It's actually been voted the most Instagrammable city in the world, which we are quite proud of. You got the best of both worlds of being a student at Macquarie, the big cosmopolitan city experience with the awesome beaches, and then you can retreat back to campus, which is a really pretty parklands university. As you can see in the background there on the left, it's a really dense parklands, so it isn't uncommon to spot a kangaroo or a koala on campus, which is pretty cool, making it a very authentic Australian experience. What US students looking for in an degree here in the US or anywhere else is very similar. Our Australian students want to have a really good time at university as well. So clubs and associations are prominent at universities around the world. I think one of the biggest differences is we don't have the NCAA outside of the United States, but a lot of institutions, including Macquarie Sports, are taken very seriously, but they are often more community-based. Having said that, we do have the Australian University Games, which are held twice a year, and students often say is a highlight of their degree. I like to joke it's not competitive because we don't do very well, but we just need more American students to help us out there. The campus life itself is very vibrant, lots of different clubs and associations, as I mentioned, that you can get involved with. And I recommend students just trying everything and anything. During the first week of school, we have an orientation week, which you might know as Freshers Week or O Week, where you really get to know campus. We take you on a cruise of the Sydney Harbour. You get to know the academics and the library and just generally get comfortable with the campus. So that's a really cool place to start. We do have a really large fitness centre as well, an Olympic-sized outdoor pool, which I like to point out when I'm presenting with the Irish, who often have their pools inside, because we do have quite good weather in Australia. It's quite similar to Californian weather, I would say, in Sydney. If it's above 90 degrees, we complain it's too hot. If it's below 65 degrees in winter, we complain it's too cold. So a very Mediterranean climate, I would say. So in Australia, our degrees are generally 3 years in duration, as we don't have general education requirements. And that's quite similar for most universities outside of the United States. Our most popular programs are like our business administration, international business, as well as our media and increasingly cybersecurity and criminology, which is obviously really important in the world we live in at the moment. Engineering is a 4-year degree at the university, as you do an honours year at the end, and we are a part of the Washington Accord, which is a signatory of about 50 countries globally that have agreed to have their engineering degrees built the same and teaching the students the same thing, so that you are able to take that degree to any of those other 50 countries, which makes it a really global program. We specialise in software and telecommunications engineering, and fun fact for you, we actually invented Wi-Fi, so you're welcome. Another really great program at the university is marine sciences, and you do your placements on the Great Barrier Reef, which is very cool. Psychology is another 4-year degree, so is teaching, but you do have the possibility to do double degrees as well. If you're thinking of putting 2 of those things together, often you could choose a double program, and then it's 4 years to complete. So it's quite flexible in terms of the different programs that you can take with that. One of our flagship programs is our Bachelor of Clinical Science and Doctor of Medicine program. So if you're thinking about being a doctor, this could be a really great program for you, because you actually go straight into the medicine degree, as opposed to if you were to study here in the US, it would probably take you 8 years to be a doctor, or even 10 years at some institutions. For us, it's a 6-year degree. It's very global as well. So in your 5th year, you go to India to our partner hospital in Hyderabad. And you stay there for 3 months. You really get an understanding of global medicine. And then in your 6th year, you have the ability to come back to the United States and do a clinical rotation at Washington University, St. Louis, or Dartmouth College, which are top 2 medical schools in the US, which is a very cool experience for students. You do need to know what you want to study before applying to the university. But we do have a little more flexibility in our programs as opposed to some other international universities. So if you're going into a business administration degree, for example, you will have elective classes that you can take an arts or a history program if you want to, or you could choose to do a major or minor. It's really depending on what your passions are and what you want to do once you graduate. I say to students, if you really have no idea what you want to do something that you're passionate about and then really specialize in your master's degree. So again, it's very flexible there. Likewise, if you start doing a history degree, you realize you really don't want to do it and you want to transfer into a different program, that's okay as well. We certainly have the flexibility there that you could do something like that. We definitely accept your IB diploma and we will take your predicted grades. So generally speaking, it's around a 28 to 30 requirement that we have for a majority of our programs. Some do go a lot higher though. So happy to chat to you about which program you're really after and what scores you need. But as soon as you have your predicted grades, you could certainly apply to the university with that and we'll give you a conditional offer based on successfully meeting the predicted grades and you can come to the university, which is pretty straightforward. We certainly have on-campus accommodation options as well. It really depends on what kind of lifestyle you want to lead and whether you want to have more of a traditional US style dorms and go onto a corridor, whether you want a meal plan. It's really varied. One of our most popular options is Dunmore Lane College, where you are able to have a very similar US experience. You live on a corridor, you do have a full meal plan, and there's a bit more social and academic support available. Or this is the Macquarie University Village, where you live in a townhouse with 5 or 6 other students. You have your own bedroom and your own bathroom, and you share the living areas. That is one unique thing about Australia. We generally have our own bedroom, so very different system to the US there as well. Tuition's approximately $24,000 per year. It depends on the program as well, so it may vary, but that's generally a good place to start. Then the living costs are around $15,000 a year. That's your flights, accommodation, insurance, all that sort of thing that you wouldn't typically that you'd spend on in a year, I should say. So cost of attendance that you should be looking towards is about $40,000. Again, you need to think about the fact it's a 3-year degree, so it can be a really affordable option to a lot of other colleges. And you can also work while studying. A minimum wage in Australia is about $20 an hour, which is pretty cool. You are certainly also able to use financial aid if you want to, and we do have scholarships available for students as well. Again, it comes back to your IB diploma and your scores, and that will dictate how much money you are able to get. But generally speaking, students are able to get about $10,000 towards their first year of tuition. I'm running out of time here, but this is just a quick snapshot of the cost comparison when you consider the financial aid. No financial aid has come into that. And I am at my time, so I will pass it on. But if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. And now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Lindsay, and I'm representing Duke Kunshan University, which is Duke's new joint venture university in China. Essentially, what we're offering is like a Duke Education 2.0 that's taught in English in China to top international students from all around the world. Our students study on both campuses, our campus in Kunshan, China, and at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, and they graduate with 2 degrees, the Chinese degree from Duke Kunshan University and the US bachelor's degree from Duke University. This is the city of Kunshan. It is one of the greenest and wealthiest cities in all of China, and it has also become a bit of a technology and innovation hub, something like Silicon Valley in the US. From here, it's about 20 minutes on the high-speed train to Shanghai, which is one of the biggest, most thriving metropolises in the entire world. So it's really wonderful that our students have such easy access to all that Shanghai has to offer. We are also located quite close to China's historic water towns like Zhejiang. And so it's really incredible that where there's so much modern amenities in this area of China, it's only about 20 or 30 minutes also for our students to visit somewhere like this that retains a bit more of the flavor and traditions of traditional China. As I mentioned earlier, our students do also have the option to study at Duke University in North Carolina. This would typically be either the fall or the spring semester of the junior year, and there's also an option to add on a consecutive summer term. So far, it looks like over 90% of our students will go to Duke University as their study away program. Duke is typically ranked in the US top 10, worldwide top 20. So this is one of the most incredible educational experiences that you could ask for. This is the majors. Between the header in gold and the bullet points in white. These are all interdisciplinary dual majors. They are pre-packaged to fit together, kind of like a double major. So for example, if you look at environmental science, this could be a dual major with either chemistry or public policy. We are also adding new majors in behavioral science with tracks in neuroscience and psychology, and another new one in computation and design. So if you're interested in studying AI, cybersecurity, or video game design, we would also have something for you. And just to return to this point, our students are graduating with 2 degrees. We know that Duke Quenshan University is very new. We launched our undergraduate program in the fall of 2018, so we currently have freshmen, sophomores, and juniors on campus, but no seniors yet and no graduation outcomes yet. But you could rest assured that if you did attend Duke Quenshan University in China, you would still graduate with that Duke degree, which is one of the most prestigious and influential bachelor's degrees in the entire world. This is our class of 2024 student profile. So we do have very competitive admissions and strong students. The average GPA was 3.93 out of 4. The middle 50% SAT range was 1410 to 1510. And the middle 50% for ACT is 32 to 34. Our acceptance rate is around 17%. So that's much more favorable to applicants than Duke's, which is around 6%. And we are incredibly internationally diverse. This class alone represents 32 countries, and overall we represent over 50 countries in those first 3 classes of students. Also, over 80% of our US and international students have received reduced tuition through scholarships and financial aid. We are looking for students who are change makers, who really want to make an impact in this world, who are high achievers, open-minded, and adventurous enough to move to China all the way across the world for college. So this is the money part. This is our figure for tuition and fees, which please don't be too scared. I know it's on the high end of private university tuition, but this is the sticker price before scholarships and financial aid are factored in. And DKU, like Duke, offers a tremendous amount of support in scholarships and financial aid. Also, this figure for housing and meals is about $10,000 less per year than the standard recommendation for students living and feeding themselves in the US. Again, over 80% of US and international students have received significantly reduced tuition through scholarships and financial aid. All international applicants are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships. And our biggest awards cover up to 100% of tuition for all 4 years. We are on the Common App. We are test optional this year, so if you don't have or don't want to submit SAT or ACT scores, that is completely fine. We do holistic admissions. In a typical year, we do fly students who are accepted to DKU to China for a 4-day weekend experience where you can tour campus, meet the other admits, take sample classes, and so on. We can't totally predict what's going to happen in 2021 with regard to travel restrictions, but if we can offer this experience in person, we certainly will. And if not, we'll try and recreate it online. There is a QR code here in this presentation that you can come back to later and scan if you'd like to join our virtual events, like our virtual campus tour or a fuller information session. And those who do attend, we will actually send you a free soft DKU t-shirt. So thank you so much, and I'll hand it over to the next presenter.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for taking the time. I see there's 43 of you here, and I wish I could see all your faces. And I'm going to smile and wave and say hi and just assume you're smiling and waving as big as I am right now. But thank you for your time. I'm going to share my screen, and we'll talk about Virtual education. Okay. All right.
Josh, if you can hear me, I think that we might be having a little problem. We're gone. Well, I hope Josh is maybe trying to come back in to our session. We're going to give him a few more minutes, see if he's back.
Could we potentially take some questions in the meantime?
That would be great. Yes. Do we have any questions out there? Please use your Q&A button at the bottom of the screen.
No questions in the box, but I know one question that comes up a lot is that, you know, if you're doing an international degree, especially if it's less than 4 years, how is this going to be for going to graduate school or getting a job back in the United States? So maybe could someone share the European perspective and maybe Leanne, the Australian perspective?
Great idea.
Yeah, I could speak on behalf of Team Europe. So I think, you know, in general, you know, our bachelor's degrees are very well accepted in the United States, because even though that they're, you know, they might be condensed, it's still the same type of material and even more targeted. So it can actually put you at an advantage. For professional programs, though, let's take law, for example. If you're doing a law program in Europe, you know, it can be a little bit tricky to transfer a bachelor's degree back to the United States, because it depends on the bar association from that particular state. So while an LLB, which is the bachelor's qualification, might work in a state like New York, you may have to go in for an LLM or, you know, a higher qualification depending on the state that you're living in. So we always recommend to read the fine print in the states that you are wanting to come back home to, if you want to come back home, because a lot of our countries allow you to stay back.
Awesome. I think Josh is here. Josh, do you want to give us, see if you can get your session to run?
Yeah, that was great timing. This is the world we're living in now. So let's take 2 here. And before I start, Leanne and Macquarie, thank you for Wi-Fi. Without that, wouldn't have been able to come back. So much appreciated. Let's try again. Okay. Share screen. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So let's talk about Virtual education. First of all, thank you to all the other presenters. Those look like such incredible universities. I wish I was in the college application phase and hearing this for the first time too. Absolutely incredible. I represent Virtual Education. My name is Josh. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I live in California now. So done with Reader forever, which is great. With Virto, this is something a little bit different, so I'm going to ask you to bear with me, and I'm going to try to explain all this in 6 to 8 minutes. But there's a lot to what we do, so please pay attention. So all of you that are here today clearly are interested in traveling, clearly are interested in other cultures. That's something that, of course, we're super passionate about at Virto. And so what we've done is come up with a way for students to spend their first semester college abroad, earning credits. But the idea for us is get out of your comfort zone, experience a new country, learn about life through somebody else's eyes who thinks differently than you, and really immerse yourself in a different place. And we want students to have that experience to start college, and we want it to count towards their degree, and we wanted to actually make college more accessible. So the 3 pillars to what we do, hopefully the best first year of college possible, spending your first semester or year abroad, admission into a reach school. We partner with about 50 universities across the country and abroad. Macquarie is one of our partners. So Leanne, again, great to see you. Thank you. We love Macquarie. And affordability is huge for us, and we'll talk about scholarships at the end. But that's a big, big part of why we exist, to make higher education more accessible. So we'll jump into it. The semester abroad opportunities. So where can students travel? Where can they go their first semester of college? We have 6 different options. 3 semesters in Europe and 3 semesters that we call field semesters out in the world, where students really are never setting foot in a traditional 4-walled classroom. But again, each of our semesters, students are earning 16 credits per semester. So we'll quickly look at each of the locations here. Some pictures to start. So on-campus semesters in Europe, these are great for students who are really independent, who want to travel on their own. In their downtime, they can travel to other countries, during the weekends if they want. They can get involved in sports and theater and really make those cities their playground for the entire semester. So those are for really, I think, independent students wanting this big sort of European, cultural hub experience. First option there is London. In London, we're looking at business, history, politics, and economics. Really cool semester. We're right next to the University of London campus over there. So students have access to that student center to get involved in clubs and meet really incredible international students. That is London. Next option, Milan in Italy. This is a really cool semester because students will spend their days at an Italian university right in Milan called Università Cattolica, looking at philosophy, history, art history, fashion even. And if you're interested in any of those subjects, what better place in the world than Italy? Also carbs, Italy. So that's a plus for everybody. And actually this picture here, go back really quick. This picture is the Italian university you get to take your classes at. So it's very, very iconic for these red arches. Really cool. All right, next option is in Madrid. I really like our Madrid location, or I'm sorry, our option, because you can take Spanish. No better way to learn a foreign language than immerse yourself in the environment of that language. Students are looking at a lot of different subjects here, so anthropology, economics, history. Each week for classes on our Europe semesters, we'll meet for class outside of our study center. So in Madrid, for example, there's a bunch of different UNESCO kind of World Heritage sites around where we'll meet for class. So you'll really get to experience the city, and again, have a lot of freedom to make those journeys what you want. Field semesters, these are different in that, again, students are never setting foot in a traditional classroom, but they're really kind of just immersing themselves in really cool ways. So if you look at each of these courses, and I apologize, I'm flying through these, in Hawaii, anthropology, identity, environmental sciences. On the field semesters, each of these courses corresponds with a different location within the region. So you're traveling really heavily. And if you're in Hawaii, for example, and you're doing your environment course, you are in Maui at national parks, learning about conservation efforts from park rangers. That's how you spend your days earning your environmental studies course credit. Next option for a field semester, Latin America. Students are in 2 countries, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, looking at global health, development, history. One thing I love about Latin America is we do sea turtle conservation. This picture up top here is our base house in the Dominican Republic, where you spend 1 month taking your global health course, kind of jumping off every day to different sites, working with clinics and doctors and things like that. Super hands-on. Fiji, New Zealand, Australia. We love the South Pacific. Students are in these 3 countries. They start in Fiji. In the middle, they're in New Zealand. They end their semester in Australia, doing a lot of really cool stuff in environmental studies, working with animals at the Australian Zoo, doing coral reef restoration. And I wish I had time to show you the videos, but really incredible people in place in the South Pacific. Okay, so college admission. This is a really exciting thing. If any of you 42, 43 people are seniors, this is a huge advantage. What we've done is partner with about 50 universities around the country and the world. Students apply to Virto as they would any college. They can select from a list which of our partner schools they'd like to apply to. It's a free application, which is great. As soon as a student completes their Virto application, within 2 to 3 weeks, we'll tell them which university they got into. So we offer a joint admission decision. We'll say, congratulations, you got into Virto, you're going to Latin America for your first semester. You also got into the University of Oregon. So it's a really great pipeline for students into some, amazing universities. If you're interested in a partner school that you see here, you don't need to apply directly to the partner school. You only need to apply to Virto. And applying through Virto gives students a much higher shot getting in, because universities know that students who travel are awesome and they add to their campuses in positive ways. So if the GPA is a little bit lower, if the test grades are a little bit lower than our partners normally require, going through Virto gives students a much higher shot getting in. That this idea of accessibility is big for us. This idea of admitting a student into school based on who you are and not just your data points is huge for us. So this is a great way to do it. Before I move on, I will say, if a student's not interested in a partner school, let us know and we'll help you make Virto work with a non-partner too. We have a college counselor who can work through that with students. So we have people going to community college, different four-year schools, not going to college, just depends on what you're looking for. All right, so affordability. Here you can see the cost breakdown per semester. Every semester, except for England and Italy, included in tuition is all housing and all meals. So even if you look at our starting costs before scholarships, paying $15,000 for a semester, including housing and meals, is a much more affordable option in most cases per semester. But let's look at scholarships really quick before I wrap up. Didn't pull up the slide, that's okay. We have an opportunity grant for low-income students who fall within a certain income bracket. They automatically receive a $10,000 grant for Hawaii or Latin America. We'll have an honors program for high-achieving students who have the opportunity to receive a full year of Virto completely covered. So there will be options, incredible options coming out this semester for financial aid. You can use your FAFSA award money with Virto as well. So there's a lot that students can do to really reduce our semester costs to make this accessible, which is, again, our goal. What I'll ask students to do, because I know all you guys have phones on you, you might have used, you might be on them right now. If you scan this thing, this is my attempt to be, I don't know, young and technologically sound, but if you scan this thing, it should pull up a Google form. You can input your name and email. I'll see it. I'll reach out to you and we can have a conversation about how this can work with your college hopes and dreams. And that is it. Thank you so much. Sorry for the snafu in the beginning there. And I'm going to turn it back over to the college and career guys. Okay.
Thanks so much, Josh. We're glad you got back in. And let me share my screen real quick. So we want to thank everyone for being with us today. I do think we've got one question in the box. I'm going to cover this really quick, and then I'm going to let the presenter see if we can answer that question real quick, or if they need to do it directly with you. But once we end this session today, you are going to receive a quick survey. We'd appreciate your taking your time. It's just 4 quick questions. We want to encourage you to continue to sign up for more sessions with us at college2careerfairs.org or college2careerfairsnet.org. And remember, we will be putting a recording of this up on the site. when you do go to college2careerfairsconnect.org, we want you to realize there's also information on each one of the campuses that are part of our fair season this fall. And you can find IB policies listed for the colleges there, as well as links to get more information on admission and all of those other things as well. So thank you everyone for being here. It is the end of our session, and I am going to let our presenters handle that question maybe directly. If somebody's looked at the question, do you think it's a quick one?
I think it would depend on the individual school. So to the person who asked that, if there's a particular school that you're interested in most, please contact us directly and we can help you further.
Great. Thank you so much. We want to say thank you again for being here, and we are going to end the session now.